stuff one shot at a time.
You're right, Roy. Just knock it on. Let her rip.
You're playing golf today.
No, I'm not, Grandpa. I'm playing tennis.
You're playing golf and you're going to like it.
Just go home. That's your home. Are you too good for your home? Answer me.
Welcome to the Out the Bunker podcast with DT and Jase.
All right. Hey, guys. Welcome to the top. Oh, my God. Welcome to the Out the Bunker podcast. I'm DT, and this is...
somebody who knows how to talk properly. Jason Wood.
This is Jason. Look, today's episode 12, and we're going to be doing a little bit of talking about World Amateur Match Race. These guys are someone, group of people that put us on big time.
They are the reasons we are World Amateur Golf Champions.
Exactly. So, first things first, big shout out to JB Championi. He was an
Mr. Funny man.
Absolute cracker of a guest last week. We were just talking about it a little bit before we started recording about how awesome it was to just hear Paulie, who does all of our work. He's an absolute legend as well, and we thank him every chance we get. But he was in the background just laughing at JB and his jokes.
Dude had me in sweats, and I don't sweat much.
I've showed one of my mates at work the South African accent because he's
that
from,
was my favourite joke.
He's from Zimbabwe,
Absolute
man, and he
joke.
absolutely lost it. No, but I showed him the clip of just you guys talking South African.
with the accent.
Because that wasn't in the episode.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
I've got like the little minute, and man,
phone.
it is gold.
Yeah.
Like, he was wetting himself, and he was like, man, he just got to do a whole episode like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. JB, if you come back, we'll just do a whole South African episode, and we'll just follow my family's lineage together.
But look, I wanted to start off first things first on a bit of a, I guess, sad note. Over the last week, the golfing world lost a young 30-year-old lad called Grayson Murray. Look, this guy was recently engaged, 8 months completely sober, and he was competing in a PGA tournament in Texas.
Two-time champion as well, so it's not like he was... low-level golfer.
No, and basically, look, he withdrew with about 2 holes to go in the second round. And for anyone that knows anything about golf, in the PGA they play 4 rounds. Obviously, live golf, 3 rounds, but he withdrew, and basically that very next morning he was found dead. His parents made a pretty impactful statement. They basically said, "We've spent the last 24 hours trying to come to terms with the fact that our son is gone. It's surreal that we not only have to admit it to ourselves, but that we also have to acknowledge it to the world. It's a nightmare." So look, he suffered from depression and anxiety, and I guess this is the scary part because he had left the course stating illness, and he was ill.
Illness, which I thought was very weird. And obviously I knew a bit of the background about him just from following PGA and stuff, but I thought that was so weird. Like, I don't think I've ever seen a golfer just pull out saying I'm ill.
Yeah. And basically, we now know that that wasn't the case. He went back and ended his life. But the reason we're discussing this is because you and I are going to be tackling a bit of a challenge, and we'll talk about that in a sec, but just some statistics that really kind of... So, basically, look, 8.6 Australians die every day by suicide, which is over 8 Aussies a day. Like, 8 Australians a day die from suicide, which is just too much. 75% of those are male, and this is the part that really scared me, was suicide is the leading cause of death between the age of 15 and 44.
Which is nuts.
It's
like actually nuts when you
nuts.
think about the amount of things that the public focuses on and saying, this many people die this year by this, and like especially Australia with like skin cancer and diabetes and all that sort of stuff. And then the one thing that's like the leading cause of death is probably one of the things that's spoken about more behind closed doors than it is in open forums.
Yeah, and look, this can affect anyone. I mean, Grayson was a world-class golfer. He was a person with the world at his feet. Now, when you kind of think of celebrity-type people that are doing these types of things, you generally think of like rock stars, musicians, actors, things like that. But this is a golfer. This is an athlete who is playing a sport that is known for its class, respect, gentlemanly behaviour. Right, it's not
and its benefits of mental health. It's one of the few games that people play that they genuinely do it for the benefits of mental health.
Like it's shown, it's proven that it increases, your
dopamine,
like your levels of anxiety decrease, everything like that. But look, he quite often spoke about wearing a mask, right? Which is something that people who suffer from depression and anxiety tend to put on just to tackle their daily lives. Look, they want to feel like they aren't themselves, because when they are themselves, they don't feel right.
Yeah.
Something doesn't feel right. And I guess the more it's kind of like a drug. The more you do it and the more you put that mask on, the more then that becomes the norm, and then it's harder for people to actually recognize that there's something going on.
Yeah, well, you end up fighting your own demons, and I feel like it's a very generalized statement, but you know, the experience that I've got with friends or family or whatever is that you just continuously keep thinking, well, if I ignore it, it'll go away. And it's probably the one thing you can never run from, because it's your own brain. Like, there is literally nothing else causing that other than your own brain. And yeah, the more people shove it down, the darker those demons seem to get. And then, yeah, I guess when they don't see any other way out, that's the thing that takes hold.
And look, that's kind of the reason why we've decided to do this. I mean, you've led this, and you decided to take on the Push for Better challenge.
So I did it last year for individual reasons, and then this year, talking with Kylie, because she did it with me last year as well individually, and then we decided we were going to do it this year. But then I think probably within the last 12 months, the stigma around mental health, especially for me, men's mental health, realizing how little it is spoken about, how little it's pushed, how even in men's circles there's still a conversation. Like, if a guy shows up vulnerable and says he's struggling, there's still guys out there who will look at him and laugh and play it off like a joke. Like, it's not taken seriously. So yeah, I thought it'd be a great way to challenge everybody mentally. It's one of those things that, like, we were talking about it last night, and I said how there's some, like you were saying, the average I think it works out to be like 140 a day, and I was like, yeah, there's some days where there's like 300.
Don't worry, man. I did my averages. I was like, what do I have to do a day?
And it's one of those things. I was talking to my brother and his partner about it on the weekend, because they've joined up as well, which I'm really happy about. But outside of the mental health thing, which I like to be a decent advocate of, it's one of those things that just challenges you mentally. Like, whether or not you think you can 100% commit to it, you just have to. And that's a mental test in itself. You get through the end of that challenge, 3,200 plus push-ups in 23 days is a lot for anybody, whether you train or whether you don't. Look, and to get through that mentally is probably a massive benefit as well.
The fact you've put it into a team too is like, you then feel like, okay, I'm letting the team down if I don't do my part.
100%.
So that is a good little, I guess, added bonus to make sure that you get to that task, which I know it will help me. Like, I know when there's like a 20-something day, I'm going to be like, hell yeah, let's knock this out.
Yeah, man.
And then next day is going to be like 300. I'm like, oh, damn.
Who wants a day off with me? And it's cool as well, because the way that it's set up is that you can see how everybody else is tracking.
Yeah.
So, you know, you and I, in that sense, have a little bit of an advantage. I wake up at 20 to 4 in the morning. I can smash out 150 to 200 push-ups before I go to work.
Yeah.
So if somebody wakes up and is competitive, and they wake up and go, oh, damn, Jason's done it already. Like, he's knocked the number out for the day. They're like, well, I got to get it done. Yeah. Like, you can't lag, and then it carries over. It's
being us,
really
we'll be having
channel.
Video evidence of this anyway, like, between me and you anyway.
For mine especially, because I did it last year and I wanted to push it on social media. Obviously, we've got a goal for $1,000 this year for donations as well. So if anybody wants to join up in the team, we can throw the link up on I think it's on our profile already.
Yeah, it's on there.
Golf.
Yep.
But
it's on there to at least donate.
Yeah, but I want to get people joining up if they're keen on it. But obviously, we want to get $1,000 in the month raised as well. And I saw you donated yesterday, so I appreciate that. Kylie's donated as well. I donated last night myself, and I'll be doing some more at the end of the month as well. So
me individually, I'm already up to 210. So
nice.
there's been a few that have already I've thanked them via email. Some are anonymous, others aren't, but I've thanked all them. But look, just please remember, I guess the big thing about this, just remember to reach out, check in on someone, help to kind of peel back that mask, and find that there is another person underneath. And look, even if you have an inkling, just ask, have that conversation, because sometimes it can just change someone's life.
Yeah, 100%.
And look, it will be in our bio. But moving on to, I guess, something a little bit more joyful.
A little bit more lighthearted.
Yeah. I'll let you kick us off with the World Amateur Match Race.
Yeah, so this episode is going to be mainly focused on the reason why Daniel and I are in the position that we're in and kind of where we came from. It's going to be about the World Amateur Match Race, which is held in Dubai. And this is now our second season entering it in the sense of we actually have to qualify ourselves back to Dubai. So we were obviously there a second time, but we got flown back because we won. I don't know if you guys can see that, but we're world champions. But yeah, so we are basically going back into the belly of the beast, trying to get back to Dubai. It's a 2-player match play tournament. For those who don't know what match play is, instead of playing each individual stroke and adding your score up at the end, you can win individual holes. It's open to amateur men, women, and mixed pairs all around the world. World Amateur Match Race is a season-long competition that starts locally in your country and ends with a magical golfing trip out to Dubai, which, again, we were blessed to do twice now, which I still pinch myself for. We got to go to Dubai twice in 1 year.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
When that was never even on my radar. So if we get back a third time, I will be going best friends with the dude who owns the country. I'll leave you there.
Yeah, thanks.
So,
but anytime I've ever heard about Dubai, all I hear about is mad expensive. It's mad expensive. So the fact that we got to go over
and
there...
we wouldn't know because we didn't have to pay for anything.
No, but there's no way I would have been able to afford to do it.
Oh, hell no.
You know what I mean? So
Dude, I can't even afford... I had a friend who just went to Darwin yesterday, right? And 2 people cancelled on their tour, and she was like, if you can make it to Darwin, the whole trip is paid for. You just need to pay for the ticket. Dude, I jumped on. It cost $1,200 return to Darwin from Perth.
That's sickening.
Like, I can't
Paulie,
even
that's
afford that.
sickening,
I could go to LA for that.
Yeah.
That's insane. And that's in my own country. So to go to Dubai...
How can you possibly push tourism to your own local people in Australia
know,
and then go, but I want you to spend $1,200?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I just saw today on a post, inflation's gone up.
Yeah.
Again. So we're getting $400. This is the Australian government. We're getting $400 to help out with our,
for our
electricity.
bills and stuff, yeah.
Right? But they've increased electricity 2.5%.
Yeah, they made it more expensive.
And water, gas 2.5%. And then inflation's gone up.
Yeah.
So that $400 is going to go into nothing.
Yeah, I've currently
That's
got...
crazy.
Us. We're
taxpayers,
paying for it ourselves.
It's coming out of the...
Yeah, we're getting
our
own money back that we don't get when we put our tax returns in. It's so... No,
Maybe.
I literally have a bag of spoons. I've been digging a hole in the side of a mountain. And that's where I'm going to live. So I'm going to learn how to make fire. But anyway, back to the subject at hand. So with Dubai, obviously, we've got to play now 6 of the best courses in Dubai, which is absolutely incredible. But basically, the process of it was we signed up and we touched on this
in the
first episode quite lightly. But you basically sign up, you pay your registration fee, and then you're pretty much automatically in the tournament. You need a handicap now. I love the fact that they've dialed it back. I think they should dial it back even further.
Yeah.
And then
there's still some sharks out there.
Oh, 100%. And there always will be. Always will be. That's the sort of thing that you can't stop. But yeah, once you're into the website, you've got all your matches. They show you the grid. You can watch other people's matches as well, which is kind of cool. We got a bit of communication from the guys who are in our next bracket, which, by the way, we're 2-0 in current season, so a bit of a nail-biter on the weekend. But yeah, they were watching our match, and so it's cool to see that you can actually keep an eye on, I guess, people that if you look at certain handicaps and you're like, oh, I wonder how they'll go, or maybe they might be the ones to watch. You can keep an eye on it.
So I guess on that process, right, it splits up into 2 4-match series, right? So the first 4 matches, it's what they consider the local round.
Yep.
And you're allowed to lose 1 match in there, but then if you lose that match, you go into the losers bracket. We were fortunate enough to win our first 4 matches. Mind you, the first match was a bye.
6.
Well, we did. Well, we won them all.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Right? But basically, we were fortunate enough to win them. So we always got to stay in that winners bracket.
Yeah.
But we played some really interesting golfers. I can still remember, and I know you find it hard to remember because we still weren't taking it seriously yet. But that first,
I literally
round,
took it
we
seriously
played
until the last match.
Yeah, but that first round, we played a couple. I can't remember his name, but I remember her name, Louie.
Oh, at
the
Meadow
Asian
Springs,
girl
yeah.
at the Meadow Springs, and the older gentleman.
No, I remember. They were cool.
Yeah, they were really cool.
They were really cool.
But when we first saw them, we were like, oh, man, these guys are sandbagging. Like, this chick's going to come out. She's playing off the red. She's going to come out and kill it.
Yep.
But they were genuine, really, really nice people, and quite often did they comment on our things.
Was that our first match?
That was our first match.
Yeah, because they were confused as well.
Yes, everyone was confused.
And
I can still remember, Paulie, the first day we got there, everyone's like, we're just kind of looking around like, okay, what do we do? Like, how do we find these people? Blah, blah, blah. Like, their system back then, there was no way to send a photo or anything like that. So we were like, we're in these shirts and blah, blah, blah. But and then another game I remember was against James Oddie, right? His name...
Quinana.
Yeah, at Quinana. So Jimmy Oddie, as his name is on Insta, he's a unit, man. Like
Big
I've said,
boy.
he's a big boy. I'm pretty sure at the time he was playing off like a 6 and 7, and this dude could crush the ball. But the problem was his playing partner was on like a 27 at the time.
Yeah, you
Right.
really got to ham and egg it on those
So like,
courses.
if he wasn't playing well, they were in trouble, right?
Yeah.
But what happened was, I'll never forget the one hole. We were on the 10th hole. We're coming in, where I think we're up like 1, and we just wanted to. When you play these things, you want to create space.
yeah, so
and we
you
were
can
up 1,
kind
going,
of cruise, and it's not as stressful.
Well, you can have a bad hole, and you go, okay.
Still got something in the belt.
We still got something up the sleeve,
Yeah.
right? But anyway, we get to the 10th hole. We're up by 1, and we're like, okay, cool. James has just gone off to the right. We're like, we got him.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to go up 2 here, and then we just maintain what we're doing. This dude, this 27 handicapper, was off in the bush, right? Behind a tree. I kid you not. Like, the tree was like this. He was here, and the hole's over here. The only
should
thing he
have
could
had
do
no shot.
was pretty much whack the ball, wrap it around the tree,
Yeah.
and land it
Some
wherever.
Tiger-esque type shit.
This dude's a 27 handicapper, landed that far from the hole.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, you and I just went,
Yeah.
come
It's
on,
one of those
man.
ones where if he hits it based on how his skill should hit it,
He should have
we're
a 7.
good.
Yeah,
We're good.
we're good.
But it's one of those ones where, like, if you compare it to other sports, like someone's heaving a half-court shot in basketball
Yeah.
for the win, you're like, that's not going to go in,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it just drops.
But a 27 handicapper isn't just heaving it a normal shot. He's underarm throwing it.
Oh, yeah.
From half
Yeah,
court.
with
Like,
his
that's-
eyes closed.
That's the equivalent.
With his eyes closed.
With his eyes
Yeah,
closed.
and one shoe's
and
untied.
backwards. Right. But anyway, like, so we got through the first 4, and then we started going, man,
I
like,
think we got a bit competitive.
yeah,
there.
we got very competitive, and we
Yeah.
started like going down early, playing rounds, trying to practice.
Yeah.
But we used Meadow Springs as a base. So, explain. I was happy to play everywhere, but we started finding a bit of a connection at Meadow Springs
think-
Golf Course.
And again, correct me if I'm wrong, because my memory is so bad these days, but we had actually played a couple of rounds there prior, maybe like in the last 6 months leading
Yeah.
up to the competition. We'd
I
had
think
a
we did.
couple of rounds there, and we'd managed to go around quite well. Like, it suited our style quite well. And I think it also, it's unforgiving if you're playing really badly and you don't know the lay of the land.
Yeah.
But I guess we've, to our handicaps as well, played semi-decent there. It's never been a course that I guess has eaten us up.
Yeah.
But it's got quite wide fairways on quite a lot of holes. With our shot shapes, you can actually cut quite a lot of the corners and stuff like that. The greens themselves are quite good. They're not overly quick, but they're not super slow. They're a nice... I would say they're probably just above average in terms of speed.
Yeah.
But it's a course that if you don't play it well and you don't play to the course in terms of course management, it'll destroy you.
Yeah, Cam, because the grass down there is just thick.
Yeah, 2 feet into the rough and
It's
you're
thick.
gone. You're
Yeah.
not getting that ball back. And at the time we were playing, it was in through summer as well. And you're not going to step into there. I'm not getting eaten by a
Oh,
snake.
hell no.
That's
Do
not my
I-
idea of a good
The
weekend.
last thing you do in Australia is step in the bush to go look for a golf ball when it's, heat of summer.
Yeah.
And it's just like Meadow Springs, the Cut, the
Yeah.
Links, Kennedy Bay,
Secret Harbour.
You just don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also a gorgeous course. Like, it's
It
a
is
beautiful course to play. Nice drive down past Mandurah, so it did us well.
Yeah, hell
So-
yeah. Yeah, and look, I still love playing there. It's just that it's
It's a drive.
this
for me.
round, it's been hard to get on there.
Yeah.
But look,
Also with the weather.
we then went on to the playoffs, and we had a couple of tough rounds there, but we kind of the very last round, which was the grand final.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
us.
That
I
was a
remember
fun
us.
build-up.
Yeah, like we saw that these guys play at Hartfield. They're from Hartfield, so I know Hartfield, tight little course. So I'm thinking, okay,
Yeah.
what are they going to be like? And I'll never forget. I did most of the prep work, and I still do. I do most of the prep work talking to them, right?
Do all of the prep
Yeah,
work.
and-
I don't think I've even written a message.
No, I don't think you have. But I took notice that these dudes, like, we were the home team, technically.
Yeah.
Like, we had to set it up. However, when you get to the final, the last 4 rounds, you have to meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, it's got to
right?
be neutral ground.
It's got to be neutral ground. It can't be your home ground. Now, because you and I didn't technically have a home ground, we kind of play everywhere, right? But we use Meadow Springs as our base. So we couldn't play at Meadow Springs. So we're like, damn, right? So anyway, these guys were like, oh, well, let's just play at the Vines. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was like, well, what about Joondalup? And they were like, oh, well, look, the Vines is probably a bit cheaper, blah, blah. So I went back and had a look. This is how shady
They'd
that
played
Irish...
twice there?
That Irish dude, was he Irish too?
I don't know. I don't
That
think
one
so.
guy. Something. Anyway.
He was just shady. I don't
Yeah,
think
he was shady.
Irish.
Anyway, dude, he was like, no,
I
no,
like
no.
how you say Irish too. No one knows what the
No one
reference
knows yet.
is, but it's
You'll
from
get it in a
last
sec.
season.
But anyway, I was like, let's go back and see where they played. Their last 3 games were at the Vines. And I was like, you shady mother, right? So I was like, no, I'm choosing this. We're going to Joondalup. And I just booked the round, remember? I didn't even say it. I said, we're playing on this day and we're playing at Joondalup. So then, I
Which
guess
also fitting for a final.
hell yeah,
Like
Joondalup.
such a nice course for a final.
If you can't get onto Lake Karrinyup, Joondalup's your next
it's your next best.
show course, right? But then we get to that final round, and I remember we were kind of messaging. We were like, dude, we got to get out there and practice, man, because
I guess I actually don't remember our second last match, so I just remember the feeling of, okay, now we've won, so we're into we're into the final, and I guess that's when it really became real. And then I remember I got a lesson, like
the first
thinking that would save my life.
Of course.
I guess it did it in a way. Shout out to Glenn, who did nothing. And then we started, I think it's also a good thing that you and I are so competitive with whatever we do, whether it's golf, basketball, life in general. If we know we can do well at something, we just give it as much as we can.
Yeah,
so we
of
started
course.
talking about what we want to do. We organised a match there the week of. We got, again, shout out to Glenn. He gave us these yardage books, told us how to read them. We went through it. We played around. We I
marked
guess
it down so precisely too. Like,
yeah, but again, based off how we played that day, hoping that we could replicate.
we
Obviously,
played
that's what you
pretty
wanna
well
do.
that day too.
Yeah, and we played. To give anybody context, we played the round as if the team we were playing was going to get par every hole.
Yeah, that's how
So we
prepared
wanted
for
to
it.
play at a level that was competing if they played the perfect round.
Yeah.
Basically. And we did damn well. I think we won in that practice round.
We did.
if
We
they
won
were
by like
playing on par.
+3.
Yeah, so we were pretty comfortable with how we played. Weather was good. The course was playing amazing. We did really well. And then we got to the day. Mindset same.
Yeah.
In terms of like, we played well, we're ready. We're not going to tell these guys we had a practice round, like stuff them. We're just going to do us and we're going to do well.
Yeah.
And then not a damn thing
Nothing went to
plan. The yardage books didn't matter. I don't think I read mine for maybe 75% of the course.
No, we didn't. It didn't work.
The shots weren't going the same way they did when we played during the week.
Nothing worked for the first 9 holes.
I
8
genuinely
holes.
think if I'm going back now to 3 seasons or 2.5 seasons now, I genuinely think the thing that kept us in and has kept us in so well is that as a team, we ham and egg it to perfection. Like, we do so well in terms of, it's very rare that we've played uber bad on a hole together on a consistent basis.
100%.
So,
Yeah.
that was, we got to a point where we were 3 or 4 holes up and we thought we were coasting.
Well, hold up. Going into the 9th hole, we were down 4. And then
Were we?
Yeah,
I thought we were down 2.
No, we were down 4.
Down 4, right.
And then you won that last hole, the
Yeah,
9th hole.
yes,
and
that's
we
right.
were like, okay, cool. And
Yep, cool,
we
we
joked
got a bit
around
of
like, oh, we
momentum.
got him.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then we went boom, boom, boom.
And then we had them.
And then we
did
had 'em.
have them. We got
We
back
did
to
have 'em.
even. We got 2 holes
up.
2 up. And
Then
I remember thinking, cool, now we can coast.
Yeah.
And that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
Because you just take your foot off the pedal and they got it back to even. I remember how I felt on the par 3.
Mhm.
That's all I remember.
Yeah.
Is that this
is
hole
the
has to go well, the
16th, yeah.
16th. I just remember thinking this has to go well.
Well, the one I remember was the 15th hole at Joondalup.
The big dip
lower
up.
handicapper.
That
in
shot
the
that he hit
bunker.
up to the green.
Bro, he
That's
hit
another
this
one of those
shot.
shots that you just don't expect to happen.
Kill me.
Yeah.
He hit this shot from the bunker. The other guy was out. Their
Uphill
lower handicapper.
into a high lip as well, so it's
Yeah.
not an easy shot.
There is no way he should have got the distance and carry that he did.
Yep.
And he landed like that
Yeah,
far from
again,
the hole.
a couple of feet from
and
the
we
hole.
needed that because that was going to put us up by 1.
Yep.
Because it was a tight. And then they went up by 1. And we're like, get out of here,
Yeah.
man. Like, come on, dude.
Yep.
You're on a
I remember that
20-something.
deflated the sails a
Yeah,
bit. I
hell yeah.
started getting a little bit nervous, which
Yeah.
is, I don't think up until that point I had gotten nervous at any point. Even when we were down, I don't think I was nervous because like there's a lot of golf to play. But at that
Yeah.
point, there was only 3
When you
holes
start to
left
get
to
those
play.
last few holes,
it's like,
you start
okay,
to
you
get
got to
nervous.
make something happen. And if
Yeah.
you're going into the last couple holes down, It's not a good
But he
feeling.
made something happen. But he just pulled this out of nowhere.
Hadn't played like that all day.
No, he had
played
let
like
his
that all
team
day.
down big time.
Yep.
Right, the whole thing, and then he just pulls this out.
When he needed to stand up, I guess he stood up.
Yeah, well,
and
he stood up.
He hit the shot, and then we played the par 3. We brought it back to even.
Yep.
And then...
No. That squared the hole
Played
with them.
Yeah.
Right,
Sorry.
and then we got to the par 3 and we won the par 3.
Yeah, so we were 1 up.
Yep.
And then we went on to the 17th, which is a par 5, up and down, snake hole, left, then right, and then left again. And I remember I sliced my shot into the trees,
Yep.
and my shoulders dropped. My whole body dropped. Because in my head, I was like, yep, we're going to hit it down the fairway, we're going to get it in 3, I'm not going to try and swing for the fences. And I just hit this mean slice, landed in the trees, you hit it on the fairway, and I was like, all right, cool.
But we were banking on them to play poorly, and they did.
Yeah.
Even their top handicapper
definitely
played
helped.
poorly.
Definitely helped.
All right.
But I remember hitting out of the trees on that hole, and it was just another duff shot. And I remember going, dude, this is your hole.
Yeah.
Like, this is all on you now.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. I wanted to help, but it didn't matter what score I got on that. I think I ended up picking up. I don't think I actually finished on that.
Yeah, we needed them
that hole out.
But anyway, we ended up winning it. We sunk the putt at the end.
Played the last hole.
And
They
then
didn't
these
really
dudes,
shake our hands.
these dudes were salty, man.
Sour grapes.
They were
man.
salty, like
sour grapes with a little bit of mold on it.
dude. They went straight to the parking lot,
Yeah.
Right.
And then complained about
your handicap.
I shot 102 that day.
Bro.
So for those who don't know, my handicap is 18. Par is 72. So my average score is 18 strokes over that. I shot 102. So much worse than 18.
Yeah.
And then they complained and said that my handicap wasn't legit. I was like,
Yeah.
it should probably be higher.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a good golfer.
So
That was within 10 minutes we got that.
but we didn't see it until after,
Yeah.
right? Because I remember us sitting down having a beer. You were sending videos to everyone.
But we also had our moment like on the green. Like,
yeah.
holy shit, we're going to
Yeah,
Dubai.
yeah. But dude, you were sending videos saying, "No one talk to me.
Yeah,
I'm
pretty
the
much
best golfer in
of the
Australia.
world. I was
If you need
offering
help,
lessons.
You're offering lessons to everyone.
Yep,
Blah blah blah."
That
And
came
then,
up as a memory.
bro, Paulie, I swear to God, that night, man, we're both at home and just messaging each other like, "Dude, we're going to Dubai.
Yeah.
We're going to Dubai." And then all of a sudden, I get this email going, "Your Jason Wood's handicap has been questioned."
Yeah, they
Blah blah
challenged
blah.
it basically.
They challenged his handicap, and I've sunk
It was interesting
straight onto the phone, and I've gone, "What?"
because your reaction to that was so different to mine.
Yeah.
My
Weird.
reaction, well, obviously, but my reaction was laughable because I knew for a fact that challenge away, bro.
Mm.
If you're going to base it on how I've been playing, you've got no leg to
Yeah.
stand on. Like, I'm not playing well.
But dude, I then I'm smart. I make sure I take screenshots,
Yeah.
and all that type of stuff. And I had screenshots of all of your prior games and everything like that. Now matches, and I showed them that there was no way your
Well, I mean,
handicap.
They would have seen it in the system.
yeah,
anyway,
they saw it in
so-
the system. But anyway, we ended up going to Dubai.
Yeah.
We get there. I'll never forget when we get to the airport. I'm like, okay, dude, we got to start documenting this stuff. Like
Yeah.
having some fun documenting. I'm like, Paulie, I'm going to send you a whole bunch of stuff. I know you are busy and you got stuff, but I'm going to put stuff in that you can tag in. But it's literally, I've said to Jase, I was like, dude, just walk down the airport. Like, just walk and I'll just get, because we had our hoodies with our pictures on the back. And this dude starts pointing like this, like
I was like
the crowd.
waving to everybody.
He's like waving, and I'm like, dude, no one is.
Not a single person acknowledged
No,
me.
no.
But I was waving.
I
was
don't
actually
think anyone even looked at you going,
Nah.
what was going on.
But I was actually thanking people out loud. I was like, thank you. Don't worry, guys. Nah, cheers, it's me.
Bro, and that was the start of an amazing trip.
Yeah.
Everything was
flight.
just surreal. It was a long flight.
But Emirates, shout out in case you're watching Emirates. We'd love to get back on there.
No, it was
sometime.
amazing, man. Like it was honestly something that just it blew us away when we landed. And that airport, I know you spoke about the airport. The airport was just bonkers.
Nuts, man. Absolutely nuts. I think the biggest one I've ever been to is O'Hare Airport in Chicago.
Oh, Chicago,
That's
yeah,
massive,
yeah, it is a big
but
airport.
it's busy. Like,
Yeah.
that's non-stop busy.
Yeah,
you get to Dubai, and it's massive, but it was dead.
Yeah.
Not a single
They've
person
just got
there that
crystal
day.
pillars for no reason.
Yeah.
And you're like,
The
what does
elevators
this do?
are epic too.
Yeah.
The lifts are nuts.
It makes zero sense why they do it, but I guess when you got the money, you spend it on
Hey,
whatever,
man.
right?
Yeah, do whatever you want.
So anyway,
And they do.
our first round.
Yeah, first round I think was interesting. We didn't really get any prep there because
No.
we had quite a short stay. We got there the day before, and the competition kicked off.
Yeah, well, we didn't know whether you had to be there early,
Yeah.
or you could. But
yeah, and so the bodies probably weren't in the best physical shape. I don't know how much jet lag there was. I didn't feel like I had jet lag, but it had to have affected us to a certain degree because I shot 109 that day.
Damn, did you?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah, because
I can't remember what I shot.
You
I
played a lot better
well.
than me.
Yeah, I played well. Yeah,
And the reason I remember is because I felt like if this is how I'm playing for 3 days, we're going to finish last.
Yeah.
And I did not want to do that. Even if we finish second last, it's like that's not as bad as leaving Dubai finishing last.
What was the first day? It was stroke, right?
First day was stroke, which is why I was gutted. And I only remember one hole, and it was a par 5. I pulled it a little bit left. I went into the water, and I got to take a drop. I pulled a 3-wood out, topped it, went into the water again.
Oh, I remember
had
that,
another drop, went into the water again.
Yeah, you were
so
killing
I changed my club, and that made me mad for the whole
That was the
round.
closest in 3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Par 5.
That
I remember
made me
that.
so angry.
But-
and thank God we played with 2 dudes, Mateo and...
Oh, man.
What
Mateo.
was his teammate's name? I forget now. But they
Mateo Fasadi, man. I'll tag him in some of this stuff.
genuinely
Legend.
put my mood back up.
Yeah, they were
Because
great.
they were just having fun,
So
man.
Mateo was an Italian guy who lives in Hong Kong.
Thailand.
Thailand,
yeah.
right? These dudes represented Thailand. Neither of them are Thai.
Just straight up
And Mateo
alcos.
was drunk by about the 6th hole, man.
Yeah.
He just enjoyed himself and had a good time.
Yeah,
But-
and the course is on what I would call a gated community. I imagine it's
Yeah,
gated,
it looks
but
gated.
just mansions and
Dude, it's got 40 acres of
like
water.
the lakes, and I mean the whole course was absolutely incredible. We were also lucky; we rocked up to that course in a Lambo because our names got drawn out the
yes,
night
it
before.
Did. Yeah, that's right. We rocked up in a
luckily
Lambo.
enough, and yeah, we got brought to the course in a Lambo 4-wheel drive. Euros, is it called, or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's the first time I'd ever been in a Lambo.
yeah, man.
And that was pimping. That I was like, okay, they really do treat us like the pros.
And then
and then I played like a bum.
But then we won that day.
Yeah.
And because we won that day, we went out that night, had a great dinner, everything like that. Like World Amateur Match Race put on a feed. They do
Yeah.
the alcohol,
They
everything
really
like
spoil
that.
ya.
They had a really, really good time that night. But then you want to get back, you want to rest up. Other dudes went out. We went back and we were like,
I don't
nah,
know
man.
How they did that. Oh, I guess a lot of them.
If we had
earlier
bummed
than
out
us.
that first round, we probably would have done that.
I
But
don't know
because
if I
we
would've.
won, well,
I still would have wanted to do better. And
Yeah.
if I go out and get drunk, I'm not going to do better.
because we won as well, that kind of was sinking in for me. I was like,
Hell
okay,
yeah.
man, let's do it.
Also, because we knew we were getting taken to the course
Yeah.
in another supercar.
In another supercar.
So
So because we won, we got to go in another supercar, and that was
they took us back from the course though, because
Yes.
remember they messed it up
Yeah,
in the
they
morning.
messed it up, yeah.
Martin was pissed.
Yeah, he was not happy.
He was so mad
Martin
that
was not
morning.
happy. Yeah. But then the second day we went to Dubai Creek. Shout out to Dubai Creek. This
That's
course
such a gorgeous course,
is
man.
sickeningly good.
Yeah,
Right.
It's so beautiful.
The
The sails,
oh,
like the building that looks like
Dude.
the sails, it's almost like a mini Sydney
everything is
Harbour.
just amazing,
Yeah.
man. But then the format we played there was 2-ball, better ball, and we thought, okay, we got a really good shot now.
Yeah.
And damn, did we suck that day. Both of us
We
stunk that up.
Played so average that
Yeah,
day.
so
Like we
average.
didn't shit the bed,
Till the last hole. Last hole we should.
but no, for the whole day, because obviously otherwise we wouldn't have been in the position we did.
Yeah,
Like
we ended up-
we didn't completely shit the bed.
What did we end up like 4th, 5th, something like that for that
I think
day?
we were 4th for the day,
Yeah, yeah.
which put us 2nd overall.
Yep.
But I remember how frustrated we were together,
Yeah.
like not at each other, but as a team. We were like,
Man,
"All right,
it
Jase,
was-
come on, we got to do something." I was like, "All right, D, come on, lads, we got to do something,"
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
we
yeah.
did nothing.
Yeah, we did
The
nothing. all right.
wind was rough on that course though, as well.
Yeah, it was, and it's probably something we haven't really dealt with because we didn't play at like the cut
Never played
or
a
places
yeah,
like
never played a course like that.
Yeah.
I remember I did a lot of shanks on that course.
yeah, but
We got to play with some dope boys though.
oh
The
man,
American boys.
Joey Kowalski and
Yeah.
Paul Smith, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just an amazing day. And then obviously they got up, they won it. So the next morning they got to cruise around.
Yeah,
But
we got
they were
picked up.
they were such different people though. Like when
They're very withheld compared
very
to us.
chilled out
Yeah.
compared to us. Like that G wagon rocked up, and you were like a kid in a candy
I'm
store.
still firm from it.
Yeah,
It's been a year. I should probably get a doctor's opinion
you
on
should.
it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
after
it's
4 hours, right?
Yeah,
you have
it's
to,
why I'm so tired. There's
Jesus
just not a lot of
Christ,
blood
man.
going through my body.
Jesus.
But that, I mean, you saw how I reacted to that.
Oh,
I
man.
was.
It was
I
an unreal
in,
car.
in heaven, and I'm not even a car person. That was just an amazing experience. But yeah, I mean, and deservedly, those boys got that car. Like seeing
Oh, they
Paul
played
hit
well,
that
man.
the hybrid off the green as a putter
Stop
or a
it.
chipper was just. I still to this day
Stop it, Paul.
can't do it. I'm not a good golfer, so that makes
Yeah,
sense,
well,
but-
yeah, but he's a legit golfer,
yeah,
man.
they played well.
And
And then we
then,
got paired up with him again on the last day,
Yeah.
which is cool, first and second. And
Where was that?
that was at Emirates Margulis.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most beautiful courses I think I'll ever play in my entire life.
Half course too, man.
DP World Tour plays there.
For about 5 holes, that ate me alive.
Yeah,
You played
so
exceptionally
weird
well.
that my whole body felt comfortable on that course.
Dude, there's one hole that I remember.
The one that
perfectly.
I birdied.
Yes,
Yeah,
the
same.
par 5.
Yep, where I was just
Your
behind the hill.
three wood
and
just landed right on the green in your second shot. and I
that
was like,
wasn't
that
my
was
3
sick.
wood. That
What
was my hybrid.
Well, it was your hybrid.
So
Whatever
yeah,
it was,
off the
man.
tee, I remember dog leg to the right, water on the left. I thought I absolutely striped the drive, but I landed short on the hill.
It was the 9th.
Yeah,
was the ninth hole,
Yep,
yeah.
ninth hole. Dog leg to the right, water on the left, pin tucked over the water, or the water was just kind of dips in,
Yeah.
and you can see the pro shop, I guess, or the clubhouse in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
back. Pardon me. And I remember because you drove around to where your ball was.
I was behind a hill. I
Yeah.
couldn't see the green.
And I remember the conversation I had with myself. I stood to the left of the hill, I looked where it was, and out loud to myself, I had a conversation. I said, all right, Jase, all we got to do is get good contact. This is the club.
Yeah.
And that's all I want to do. Like, I knew I could clear the
Oh,
water.
man, you
And then that
smashed
landed, I don't know, that was maybe a 8-footer?
it wasn't even that, man.
Maybe
You were
closer
so
than that,
close to
6-footer.
it. It was
And then,
legit.
and putted in for birdie.
Yeah.
And then I also remember that hitting that birdie, I saw the look on Paul's face.
Mm.
Because Paul was the one we were worried about.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you're going off your own score. Or so you off
Yeah,
your stick.
you're going off the stick.
And going into the 10th hole, I was 2 shots
Better than your
better
handicap.
than him.
Yes. Yeah, off the stick. Yes.
Yeah, and I was like, man,
And he was
I am
confused.
playing a round,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he is shitting the bed,
Yeah.
which is exactly what we needed for that day to
Oh,
happen,
gosh,
like it
yeah.
did.
But Joey played
Joe
well,
was
man.
playing out of his skin.
He was off a 9 or a 7, something like that.
I thought he
Like,
was off 6.
something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so we
And
get
then-
there.
Yeah,
We get to that last hole. No idea if you've won it or not because
yeah.
there's no.
You also
updated
drove
scoreboard.
over a tree trunk. Remember?
Yeah, I got stuck poorly, man. I got stuck.
He couldn't
Bro,
reverse or drive
dude,
forward.
So when you
Idiot.
take these carts, when you take your carts into the rough, it then beeps and tells you are not meant to be in there.
Yeah.
So I've freaked out because I've never been in one like that. So I've freaked out and I've gone to back out, and there's just this stump like
Yeah.
this, and I've just, bro, the stump under
Chunked it.
the back bumper. And I've gone, how are we going to get this off? I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be like 10 grand.
Yeah.
I'm in big trouble. I can't afford this. But we ended up getting it
Yeah,
off.
you're lucky I left.
And I ended up parring that last hole.
Yeah, I didn't play that
Snuck
well. I
through.
think
No,
I got double
not the last
bogey
hole.
on that.
But regardless, we get there.
And
we're walking
watching all
up.
the
Yeah,
groups
everyone's-
in the background as well
yeah.
because they're watching us finish.
Oh, man. Nerve-wracking. But we get up there, and then all of a sudden, they're like, the South African boys, Clinton
Yeah.
Naidu and, I forget the other dude.
Ash?
Ash.
Yeah.
Ash.
Yeah.
And they're like, I think you guys got it.
Yeah, I remember him telling me that. I was like, nah,
No way.
nah, don't be stupid. And I was so content with getting second.
Yeah.
Like and in my head, I thought we'd played well enough to at least keep our second place spot because nobody else was really seeming overly confident about it.
Yeah.
And then when he was like, "No, you boys got it," I was like, "Nah, don't be stupid. There's
Yeah.
no way we're world champions. There's no way we've won the whole thing."
Yeah, no way.
But yeah, man,
We did, and
sat
then-
down. They announced our name, and I made the most arrogant joke speech of my life, and I don't think a single person cared. But I also didn't care
I
because
laughed.
that was our moment, man.
I laughed.
I wanted to make that as memorable as possible.
I sat there just with this cheesy
Yeah,
grin on
you're
my
like, "God
face,
damn it, man."
sweating.
Yeah,
I was hot.
yeah,
You
it
know what
was
I mean?
hot.
It was hot.
But
Um,
yeah, what a tournament.
But then we finish off, like World Amateur Match Race, at the end of it, they finish off with a boat party.
Yeah,
right? So
that
you're
was
out on
cool
this
too.
boat. We were lapping it up, just loving, just being out there, and they take you through the whole of Dubai, through the canals and through
Yeah.
the city, and it was just amazing to sit there. And we're sitting there, we got our white clothes
Wasn't
on.
the boat party day 2?
No.
Or did
Oh,
we-
yes,
yeah,
it was.
'cause
It was
then- 'cause
day
we
2.
had the rooftop
That's right.
dinner
The
on the
rooftop
third
dinner
night.
was the
Yeah.
third night. That's right. And
Yeah.
we had to dip out of there. We had to get
Yeah,
out of there
I
early.
left
That's
drunk
right.
still.
Yes. Yeah.
To the airport.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't want to mispronounce it, their religious holiday,
Oh, Ramadan.
Ramadan.
Yeah,
remember?
and
Because
all the families were coming back.
everybody was coming back
They
to
were
the
coming
airport.
back.
That was busy.
Yeah.
That was hectic then.
Yeah. And then, so then, because we won that, at that point, I remember Martin coming up to us and going, "Look, you guys are going to get a trip back."
Yeah.
And we're like,
Yeah, that
"Come
was
again?
so cool.
What?" And he was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, well, because you
We're
guys want
flying
it,
you guys back."
we're going to be flying you back for the November." And we're like, "Shut up."
Yeah.
Like,
And you
no
don't
way.
and you don't have to pay the tournament and nothing.
Nothing,
It's literally
straight
all
through.
free.
So we did nothing till November.
Yeah. Dude, my handicap didn't move.
Yeah,
I played 18.
We
there.
played. We definitely played.
Yeah. I
Um,
should have gotten in hindsight now, not that it matters because of the outcome of that season.
Yeah.
But I should have gotten so many more lessons.
And look, I think going into that second chance when we went back, we played some great courses, but obviously the second round, for anyone who doesn't know, and we'll just breeze through this because I want to kind of make sure that we talk about them.
Yeah, we can touch on that on another episode.
Yeah, but we kind of get there. That second round, you go down with an ankle injury.
Yeah.
And that just killed
That
us.
killed everything,
Yeah.
man. That took all the wind out of my sails.
Everything, right? And then day 3, we still had a good time, but we knew that at that point we had no chance of winning.
Yeah.
Now, the issue with it was...
Nobody did.
Nobody did. And look, the issue was, and Martin knows it, everyone knew it, because there's a reason why...
You don't see it on any pages.
No, and I'm going to... There were 2 Irishmen. I tried to find their name. I can't remember, but there were 2 Irishmen.
No, because they never spoke in the group.
No.
No one ever had their
Right.
details.
But there were 2 Irishmen who basically came in with these handicaps that everyone was like,
19
okay...
and 21.
And 19 and 21. So, like, there's a bunch of people on that.
Mhm.
But they came out that first day and they shot 16 under. And all of a sudden, our group chat with all those guys, there were
blew
72
up.
players. Right?
Blew up.
Our WhatsApp group went from 72 to then everyone making a different group chat
Yeah,
with
we had
70.
to separate because Martin kept
Because
deleting
Martin
the
kept
comments.
deleting our comments. So we made a
I
separate
remember that.
group chat that was just ragging on these dudes. And I swear to God, like, I was to the point that if they came up to me on that day
Oh,
3
dude.
and
Throwing
said,
hands.
"Oh, great season," I was
Throwing
throwing them
hands.
over the boat.
Throwing hands.
Yeah.
We'll wrap it up in the next episode. If
Yeah,
you love
yeah,
this
yeah.
one, like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate you guys as always. I'm Jase.
DT.
This is World Amateur Match Race episode 12. And as always, look after yourselves. Peace.
Peace out, guys.